That's Tron and Frank West and Xianko beating the hell out of a Reaverbot. I suppose I shouldn't be shocked, since, well, Marvel vs. Capcom 3 exists and allows almost that very scene to play out. But then it's a tactical RPG. And I'm not shocked by that either, as the 3DS has quickly become the bastion of my favorite genre. But then Vacheron from Resonance of Fate launches a support attack up and over Haken and Kaguya from Super Robot Tyson OG Saga Endless Frontier, before being further supported by Dante and Dimitri, and it stops being a tactical RPG and becomes some kind of weird juggle-centric action craziness. And permeating it all, a thick layer of metacontextual hijinks, callbacks, and nerdy references. I'd call it TJ's Brain the game, but that also include copying to a level of creepy, euphemism-laden ogling typically reserved for bad harem comedies. I realize this would normally be Strange Anime License Friday, but considering that we're blending, by my count, no fewer than 13 franchises with anime components in some form or another, I think it qualifies. Much like its 2006 Japan-only predecessor, Namco Cross Capcom, everything in damn near every franchise in 3 of the world's largest publishers has gone wibbly-wobbly. Interdimensional rifts are popping up everywhere, leading to folks getting lost in the Willamette Mall or Makaimura when they were just trying to get to Roppongi or Shibuya. Man, between this, Devil Survivor, and The World Ends With You, anyone would be justified in just avoiding Tokyo at all costs. Our obligatory original IP characters, viz. This detective ninja dude and his combat cheerleader pupil, investigate the disturbance and cross paths with hero after displaced hero, searching for a fix to the madness and a way back home. But back home usually means through a field of villains, in this case the chaos-propagating Oma Syndicate and their hordes of chumps. When I say hordes, I mean it. Some battles put you up against around 50 enemy units, with more and potentially a drastic shift in objective coming partway through the skirmish. You can spend well over an hour on each fight just sawing through foes. But it's not just point-click damage next, there's action to be done. Yes, instead of just swinging a sword or shooting a gun, you're getting in there and beating crap up on a more intimate level. Each of your units on the map is actually a pair of fighters, supported by a third optional character equipped to that unit, and, potentially, an adjacent ally pair. Once battle begins, your goal is to dish out as much damage as possible by combining your standard techniques, controlled by a directional input plus the A button, with your ally calls on the L and R triggers to juggle the bejesus out of whatever the hell you're fighting. Each hit charges your XP gauge, not to be confused with EXP, though it usually is. Hit Y when it's at 100% or better and shit gets really shiny. And in 3D to boot. Your success in battle is entirely based on your timing, as well as the synergy and attack location between all parties taking place in the affair. Fortunately, rather than just going by happenstance, your intermission status screen offers a combat simulator against a customizable opponent, so you can experiment and find optimally synergistic combinations without having to enter a 90-minute slobber knocker. Project Cross Zone is by no means an accessible game. You need to have a solid grasp of timing and the patience to mow through a whole tomb of zombies in one crack, until some scantily clad hellion shows up and drops even more in your lap. You need a fairly high tolerance for sexual innuendo and or exploitative camera angles and poses, cause, well, Morrigan's in the game, and she's rather tame by comparison to most. An encyclopedic knowledge of most or all of these franchises helps, but even then, there are many references made to events in Namco Cross Capcom, like how Tron gained familiarity with the science of the Xenosaga series. But it somehow manages to be goofy and thoroughly entertaining while introducing a hardcore action element to the tactical RPG genre. My only piddling gripes are the exclusion of certain characters, made all the egregious by the size of the final roster anyway. Or just because I wanted a Klonoa Sonic team. As well as the rather shallow difficulty curve if you've got any experience in tactical or fighting gaming. These go alongside my primary gripe, that I'm now forced to acknowledge a post-Camelot Shining Force game. Frankly, I think it's worth it.